Hey everyone, and welcome to Cap at Home and Gold Detroit making egg carton wreaths with me, Miss Gabby. I hope you guys had a lovely day and welcome to the after school free art tutorial. I'm super pumped because I really want to thank the Community Education Commission of Detroit for being one of our sponsors, as well as General Motors. You know, without them, we wouldn't really be able to continue doing this, to be offering all these free tutorials. Which another thing is we have so many that we've already done all year, so definitely check out our archive. You can find it, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, which is all in my comments or in my the description. But yeah, come hang out with me right now. We're gonna see what we need today and we're gonna get started. So this is my awesome egg carton wreath that I made. Let me actually show you like this. Woo! So actually, this could actually be a picture frame too, which is amazing. So let's see what we need to get started with this. So first, we want to work on an area that we can clean, like if you have tablecloth or something that we can clean. But first, we're going to need some egg cartons. So I have this giant sheet of egg cartons, and a lot of times maybe you're, somebody goes shopping and only gets the 12, the dozen. But we will be using the paper ones today. Just because they're going to be easier. I mean, if you have styrofoam, that's going to work too, but I just have our paper ones to really work with today. And I have this whole sheet that's so many, and that's just what I have. So if you have anything that's maybe just 6, that works too. You can always collect and add to it eventually. So that's what we're going to be working with today. We have paintbrushes. I have a few variety of sizes here. I have a water cup for my paint, which is over here. Sorry, this is just starting to slide a little. So I have my paint cup here with some water. I have scissors. I have a hot glue gun, or you can use white glue. I'm just using hot glue just because it dries quicker and it's for the sake of the project, and some paint. So, you can use whatever paint you want. If you're thinking of a color scheme to make with your wreath, you can do that too. Just have something in mind, or you can just be like me and how I went with my, first project. I kind of went all over the place with it. So you can see there's no definite color scheme. I just kind of played around with different shapes and colors and things like that. And also we'll need cardboard, which you can see here. All right, so let us get started. And some paper towel. I have extra paper towel. So you can grab your egg carton, and with the paint, if you want to use a paper plate for your paint palette, or, if you have a real paint palette, definitely use that. But here, I just want to make sure my paint is all mixed up. So what I was doing is I was just going ahead and starting to squeeze right into my egg carton, just because I think it would just be easier. I can travel. So, if I have too much, I can kind of shift it over to my next one. So here I kind of wanted to play with the different hues of, my yellow that I just put in. So, I have all my yellows, but what I'm going to do here to create kind of maybe different hues and shades, is I'm going to add 1 dot of white into this one. And then I'm going to add a few more dots into the one next to it, and then even more. So what I'm gradually doing is kind of creating a gradient, and this will just give me a nice little variety of paint color. So what I'm doing now is just taking my paint with my largest paintbrush that I have and painting up the entire side of my egg carton. So I'm kind of doing that, and I'm moving a little quick, but I'm making sure that it's gonna go up all the sides. I'm not too worried about all the edges here or anything. I don't really need to be. And then see, I'm moving into the white, so I'm not going to go back because I don't want to add more white into this one. So see, I'm kind of, so it'd just be a little subtle change, into the yellow, but that's okay, because at least we know. And so you can kind of see it's starting to lighten up quite a bit, because so that's what's awesome about having white. You can create endless amount of color with your just like one color in white. So, you know, we can even create an entire wreath or frame with just yellow and different shades of yellow. I think that would be lovely and beautiful. So you can see they're starting to transition into lighter colors. So I have so much extra paint that I can just, you know, add it into my other one. So if there's extra paint, because we do want this to dry, you know, if you have them in your little egg cartons, you can just kind of take it to the next one, and there we'll have it. So there we have our one. So I'm gonna just wash my brush because I want to switch. And, you know, we can do red or blue. I have like a few different ones. So I'm going to basically kind of work on the same thing I did, adding like into 4 of the egg cartons there. So if you have even black, you can create like darker colors, you know, and if you add like red to or white to red, it just will, you know, turn it a little light and almost like pink-like. So I just washed my brush and I'm going to wipe it on my paper towel that I have here. So I'm going to start with the bottom red here. And I'm just going up the sides, working that way. So you can really start, you know, envisioning maybe like how you're going to place your, you know, your egg flowers. Maybe you want to mimic a certain flower. So, you know, like a rose or a daisy. You know, or something like that, or a carnation. You know, you can start thinking about the shapes that you're going to be creating. So, yeah, so you can see here how much difference in that shade of the red it's creating here for us, which I love. Oh my gosh. This could be a lovely gift, you know, just to hang like as a decoration for yourself. Nice gift to you, or, you know, like a loved one, you know, to kind of show your appreciation for them or something. But you see, I have so much extra paint in this one that I can just kind of carry it over and go on up the sides here. So that's why it's nice to be working with a larger paintbrush. It just gives you that, you know, more like coverage of an area when you're actually painting. So I want to make sure that I am getting like all this extra sides here. So yeah, and you definitely want to have, if you have green, you know, maybe you only have like the primary colors, you can definitely create like orange with red and yellow together, or, you know, we can do yellow and blue to make your greens if you don't have green. But I want to do like a lot of green. Just because, you know, for the leaves, an extra like petals or something, you know, adding all that. And you can definitely keep it all like one color, or if you want, you know, you can do different shades with that too by using the white and kind of changing that. So I'm washing my brush right now, and now I'm going to just go. So you can kind of see my green's a little chunky. So, you know, if you have a certain kind of paint and it's a little chunky, you know, you can add a little bit of water, maybe to water it down and get rid of that chunkiness. So mine's kind of like that, but that's all right because it still works and I still like it. Still looks kind of fun. It just gives it a little extra texture, so it gives it a little more character. So you can kind of see I'm working my way just the same as the other colors, but here I'm going to be using green as, you know, leaves and nice extra decorations. So, you know, once we're done with this, you want to fill like all of your egg cartons. If you have quite a bit, you know, pause the video. Definitely, you can come back to this, but we're definitely going to set this off to dry. So after, you know, we paint all of our egg carton, everything like that, you know, we want to let it dry fully because we're going to be cutting, you know, and using them to assemble our flowers. So I'm going to just put everything off to the side to dry. And, you know, once everything is dry, we can definitely start cutting everything up. So you can kind of see I've already cut up quite a bit of my egg carton here, so I can show you, you know, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to put it together. So I already cut it up, and here we are. You can cut up all of them if you want. So I already have like quite a bit cut up, and after you cut all of yours up separately, you know, you can start like assembling your flowers. So there's quite a bit of different ways. You know, you can have an adult help you to cut them. I'm just going to show you some different techniques that we can do. So I'm going to just, you know, take one of my egg cartons and just cut it all the way down. So, you know, working with these paper egg cartons can be quite tricky. So that's why it might be nice to have maybe someone just help you cut things. But you can definitely, you know, take your time and kind of mold all of these like to your liking. And that's why it's super important to be working on top of, you know, something that's just easy to clean, just because, you know, we're going to be making a little bit of a mess with our paint and like our scraps of egg carton. So I'm just going up here and cleaning up the sides. I kind of want to keep this one, you know, with maybe creating these petals that are a bit spiky, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm just cleaning up a lot of these edges, a lot of this extra egg carton pieces that we don't necessarily need. Maybe this one I ended up cutting, you know, a little bit too rounded, but that's another one that we'll be working on, is rounding it. And I'm just cutting off these little frillies, really working with kind of rounding and creating a nice tip point for our flowers. So right now there's like our first flower, and this, you know, we can create all of them where it's just like they're pointed, or they're all like a rounded petal, but I'm just gonna cut and trim here. And just delicately, so I'm not trying to rip the entire thing, because this, my paper egg carton is a little delicate. So I'm just going like this, creating a nice pointed edge here. And, you know, we can definitely do that. And if you want to, you can definitely paint the back sides of this. That's, you know, definitely up to you. So here's like my first base. You know, we can create another one and layer it on top, like gluing that together, but I'm just gonna put this off to the side and show you like our next technique that we can work on. So here I'm gonna just trim this because this is still stuck together a little. And there, so I'm gonna keep this one here just to show you what we can do next. So I'm gonna make this one a little rounded. So I'm just gonna take this and round these off a little. And it's totally okay if they're not, you know, definitely the same sizes, because, you know, like this is like an awesome little project that we're working on, that, you know, nothing has to be totally perfect because it's ours that we're making. But, you know, I'm going to just continue, like if it ripped a little, that's all right. That's why we have the glue. We can, you know, kind of use that to really help shape and put it back together. So I'm going to just trim this all the way down. I'm not cutting all the way down to the bottom, just cutting these little slits with my scissors, just to create that like petal effect, that opening effect you see here, just like how I did in the first one. But here we're just going to be rounding off our petals. So we're not necessarily, you know, cutting them into pointed petals. But I'm just cleaning up the edges like I did in our first example. You know, kind of creating these simple, perfect. Here we go. Yeah, so this definitely could take quite a while, you know, just to work on, which is really nice because it's almost like meditative, which, you know, you're really kind of really thinking about your project and like where you can go with it and like what you're creating, you know, which is something that I really like and enjoy, you know. So I, you know, like to take quite a bit of time to really think about what I'm doing. So here's that one. So that one's just like our rounded edge compared to like our pointed edge here. See, I can put those right here so you can see and be following along. So the next one, what we can do here is I want to just cut off like these little like ears. I'm going to say like egg ears, egg ears. So I'm just cutting them off, and that can be like a nice little base that we can create just like a very simple like piece where we're just, you know, like filling up like a blank space or something. And I'm just going to, you know, I like to keep these to create some nice petals. You know, you can see like how I did that, like in my example piece, how I did it where I kind of layered a lot of these together, right? And especially in different colors. and things like that. You can kind of see. So hopefully this gives you some nice ideas. You know, I used like a glittery paint, you know, really kind of layered the different shades of yellow that I did here. You know, created like little blooms kind of coming out here and there. So, you know, here you can really play around with all of that and like your scraps that you're cutting. So like that's what's awesome about these egg cartons. So if you like, you know, if you're like, oh my gosh, like to like your parents or your guardian, you can be like, whoa, like save those for me. Like I have these awesome ideas and create like a totally awesome like flower wreath. So I just went ahead and threw away my scraps right away just to clean up my area, just because, you know, we're cutting and trimming and we're kind of creating all of this. Excuse me. So I just kind of wanted to make sure that we're cleaning all of that like up. So like with these scraps here, I'm going to take maybe this pink one and I'm going to cut this away here from my red one. And I'm going to just maybe clean up the sides because they're just a little aggressive, I think, which is all right. You know, you can just, it's very easy. You see how it's kind of simply cutting away and, you know, creating a nicer edge for us. Like that's kind of what I wanted. So, you know, here we can kind of think about maybe I'll add these extra scraps to this side to continue the pointed. And I think it would be a nice like contrast with this hot pink and our red. So like if you have a glue, if you have white glue or hot glue gun, if you have an adult helping you, what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on the base of this petal, what I can say is a petal, and just put it right on the side here and hold it there for a moment. So right away you can kind of see and envision hopefully what your flower is going to start to look like. But if you want to glue it on the inside, you know, you can definitely do it that way too, and just like adding all of that. But I'm just going to trim this a little more. And you can definitely, if you see that your paint is maybe kind of falling off or, you know, if it ripped off, you can definitely repaint too. That's what's amazing about it being your project. You know, you can really just take your time and really kind of make it your own. So you see how I'm kind of starting to add all of this, you know, to the sides here. And I'm just working a little quick just so we can show everything that we're gonna finish. So I'm gonna just trim this one a little bit here, 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 boop, and just add a dot there and keep going, boop. There we are. So that's really nice. We could even take this piece and add it in here, kind of create like a nice little fun, you know, or put it somewhere different. That's definitely up to you. And maybe what you're envisioning. Maybe I'll take this like blue one. I'm just going to quickly rip this one a little bit just so we're, you know, I'm going to trim off, you know, these ears here. These egg ears, the egg carton ears. And now I'm going to show you a nice, fun little, a smaller little flower that we can create. So I'm just cutting all the way, and it's nice because I have this imprint in this egg carton to kind of guide us. I'm not cutting all the way through, but you see how, you know, we could just pull this off, and this helps. You can leave it like this, definitely, or you can for sure shape this a little bit more. Like we can go like this here, create these fun petals, like of a smaller flower. That's what's great. And if that's why you have scissors, or if you're an adult helping you, help you create these cuts and these flowers. I mean, the possibilities are endless for this, you know? So like we have a small little one here. So yeah, you can totally keep going. Like that's, you know, keeping some of your scraps, like keeping your area clean, definitely. I'm just going to throw some of this away, just to keep my area clean. So now we can, once you do that to all of them, you can assemble your wreath. So, you know, you have your cardboard, all these cardboards that I cut, all these pieces. So if you have like an entire sheet and you want to cut a circle or a square or like an organic shape or something, definitely do that. I unfortunately did not have like a piece large enough, so I kind of just created my frame for myself. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to do. And if you want to create a circle or like a hexagon or a triangle even, maybe I'll work like with that. I'm going to put that here, maybe like something super fun. Kind of overlapping like this. That actually might be really pretty. So, you know, that's if you have your glue, and if you want to paint your frame, that's definitely something that you can do too. You know, if this is a gift or something, I'm going to just create this kind of triangle piece here. So I'm running out of hot glue. So if you have some extra hot glue sticks with you, perfect. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glue here and here. So I'm going to create my frame. So there. So like I said, it doesn't have to be a square or, you know, a circle. It can be like a triangle or any other like organic shapes. So this one, like I had here, was a square. So this, I'm going to just create like a triangle. So like I said, you can paint, you know, assemble it and then paint it if you'd like. That's totally up to you and how you want to work with it. So now I'm going to just bring over, you know, already prepped a lot of my pieces for us for our tutorial today. So you can kind of see here what I started, what I created with you. So I'm going to just bring all my flowers right to, you know, our project here, just to see and start to lay out like where I want everything, you know, just, it's so much easier to do that because you can see like what you need, where you can place it to like use every single piece, or maybe not use every single piece, or, you know, put things together. That's, you know, that's up to you and how you're like envisioning things. So maybe you know, you can kind of start to play around with the positioning like of a lot of these pieces. So you know, you see me here kind of playing around, you know, trying to fill up all these pieces or all the places here that we can kind of do that. And that's another thing too, is we're going to have like our leaves to add still. So don't, you know, freak out about that. We have our leaves. So I'm just going to maybe put it like this. So you can kind of see they're all falling around, but that's all right. Maybe like this. Okay, I like how this is looking. This is looking pretty good here. So I'm gonna just move it up a little so you can see. See, I didn't end up using all of my pieces, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna take my entire flower, put a nice little dot of glue, and put that right on top of there. So that's what I'm gonna do to all of them. That's why it's like really great to like position and figure out where you're putting all of your pieces before you glue, so you're making sure that you're having enough room for everything, you know. So here, and if you know, once we glue this on, we can add our leaves. I'll see, like I added that piece to it. So this one was an extra piece I had here, and we can shove that right in there. So see, I kind of layered all of these pieces together. Like nothing was perfect, nothing is, you know, they could be all flowers you make up. They don't have to mimic real flowers, but that's what's really great about all this. So I'm just kind of quickly going and adhering all of our flowers to it. So perfect, we can let that dry for a moment. You know, if there's maybe more pieces you want to add or something. But like if you have like our green one here, like our green egg carton, you see like I used different shades of green. Like I said, that's up to you and how you want to do it. But we can create our leaves, which, you know, we can just cut off like our egg carton ears, like how I did before, you know, and just trim them down to like, you know, a nice triangle here. Kind of really clean up the edges, or if you want to, you can use like the entire piece. So what I'm going to do is just cut right through this entire piece here and really shape it to look like a leaf here. Kind of cut this off. There we go. So you can kind of see I just use that entire egg piece really to oops, I'm gonna just take this to the side, to kind of shape my entire leaf. So, you know, you can start thinking about if you want to add them in certain areas. I'm just gonna put a piece or a little dot of glue and put them right under. You can see how I did that, is put it right under there. So letting it dry, letting it sit. This is very important about just like the process and, you know, where, you know, like how you're letting it dry and not working with it like too quickly. So I have quite a bit of little green leaf pieces that I've made. So I'm just gonna start adding them, you know, around. You can go on the inside here. You can put multiple leaves on one, you know. And if you're working with hot glue, you can kind of see I create these little spider webs just because I've been working so quickly. But you can even fill the entire piece with leaves. So you have no cardboard showing, or you could just paint it green. That's, you know, you can tape some of your triangles together and create like a little house of leaves. That's, you know, it's really fun because you can kind of really just play around with it and have so much fun. So like I can put that up there. And now if you have like beads or like pom-poms, like if you have anything like fun that we can put like in the middles of our flowers to kind of create like the entire effect, or if you have, you know, like if you want to just paint them like I did with my first piece here. That's what I did, is I created like the insides of all of our flowers. And like that's what we can do now. I can just put some paint off on the side. And if you have a piece of like a plate or something, I'm just going to take my small paintbrush. That's why I have so many sizes. And now I'm just going to start like adding, and if you want to use different colors, you can. If you want to add some texture, you know, make it look like some petal texture, you know, you can just kind of add that here. Add some nice little textures here. You know, and this is like what's like so beautiful about, you know, really taking the time to notice like what you're doing, or like kind of figuring out a plan or having no plan. That's what's amazing about all of this, is like, you know, it's all yours and you can kind of figure out what you want to do and how you want to fix it, or, you know, continue along with that, creating lovely parts to your flower wreath. So you can kind of see how I'm adding some nice little accents into all of my leaves here, which is so nice. You know, you can just add maybe some little touches on parts of your leaves. So you can see, I'm gonna just go. So right now I'm just using white, you know, and I'm gonna just kind of create this fun little pieces here. Nice little parts. Add here. So, yes. So all I did was use white. I'm gonna put that off to the side. You know, so I'm gonna maybe finish off with my little leaf parts here, just so we're having like a good amount. Add some extra here and there. So, you know, put it on the inside, on the outside of it. You know, that's up to you. You can add more than one leaf on a flower. That's up to you. So you can kind of see I'm playing around with all of that. So it has gotten quite heavy, but it is looking super good and super lovely so far. So yeah, and if you have like string or yarn, you can definitely glue some that, you know, and hang it up. You know, definitely ask an adult to help you. If you have, you know, more, if you want to like repaint something, that's definitely something that you can do in this stage, because you can kind of see what you're looking at and how you want to do it. But there you have it. So that's if you have any egg cartons lying around. You know, super helpful, and, you know, definitely fun to kind of use up. You know, if you have like so many extra places to put this, you can definitely shove, like I love all of this. You know, you can create endless amount of colors, you know, and different things and different shapes of wreaths, and you can create so many different, you know, things for like a gift. So now is cleanup time, is one of my favorite parts. You know, so you want to unplug your hot glue gun. You know, if you have any glue, you got any glue on your work area, definitely clean that up. You know, if you want to keep any of your egg carton scraps or colors or something, definitely put it off. But if you have anything, like I have so many scraps that I can just throw away, definitely just take that right to the trash. We want to kind of leave our area like how we always start. You know, that's definitely respectful of your space, and you know, of where you are. So definitely clean all that up. Definitely wash your paintbrushes, and, you know, rinse them properly, wash them with soap and water. That's really important because we don't want our brushes to go hard. So definitely do that. And, you know, put everything back where you got it from. Save all your extra scraps. Yeah, and if you have any of these that you've created, or any other of our art tutorials, you know, definitely shoot us a message. You know, you can hit us up on Facebook. Our email is in our description, or on our page. You can message us. You know, we would love to see what you've been working on, you know, and thanks again to like Gold Detroit and the Community Education Commission of Detroit and General Motors. You know, without them, like, we wouldn't be able to give you like these awesome free art tutorials. So definitely check them all out. And thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys next week.